Hey everyone, it's Roy Cruz, and of course, I have alongside with the others. We have it across is me phone 11, and the other side of it we've got is one of our biggest and the baddest. It's DJ Beast. This is the Stanley Cup playoffs of NHL 26. For those of you who have already been watching on this one here before, you've already know that it just comes down for the end of it, but at this moment, it's time for the postseason. This is where it starts off for right into the bottom of the round of 16 in the first round, then rounds of 8 in the second, and round of 4 between for those peeps right in the between of Eastern and Western Conference. This matchup is going to be very similar to the other one, but the game of series will be different. First round will start things oftenly, as both teams will be heading for a competition to get to the second round. Winner of this series will be up for 2, and if it's still tied for 1, then game 3 will be happening at the same location like last time. Second round will start off with 3 of the series, the best of 2 that will be able to get it up across to get to 3. This will be best of 5 on the other hand. And then, for the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, it will be games of 4, the best of 4. This will be of 7. And the winner of this point will be heading to the Stanley Cup Final to finish all they've got. So now, here's what we have. Minnesota Wilds and Dallas Stars starts in the Western Conference Finals. Here to starting goaltenders, Jake Ottinger, and along with the other is Kirill Kaprizov, as we have is one of our biggest ones of Wallstad, and of course Kawakapanen will be the starting goaltender for the Minnesota Wilds. This is one of the biggest transformations that they've ever been doing it for, harder to achieve. Here are the starting players for the Minnesota Wilds, as we've got a big ones for tonight, and this is going to be an exciting one to start things all for the playoffs. Quinn Hughes is the Illy Edges along with the second win at a Sunday pass. Kirill Kaprizov with wheels and quick release. Matthew Baldy with a quick release and pressure T. Brock Faber with the Illy Edges and second win along with the tape-to-tape zone. Matt Zuccarello send it and tape-to-tape. Jonas Brodin wheels and stick him up along with the quick pick. Then it's Joel Eriksson Ek, no contest in the Warriors zone. Then it's Jared Spurgeon with a stick him up in the quick pick zone. Then it's Jacob Middleton to stick him up in the quick pick. Then it's Vladimir Tarasenko with a quick release effort, spicing on the quick shots. Then we have his Nick Foligno, the born leader and spark plug. Then it's Marcus Foligno, true lenses in the Warrior. And lastly, we've got Vikov Trenin. Big plays, no can be changed. Now let's go ahead and send on over to the other side of it, as we've got Dallas Stars. Mikko Rantanen is a quick release and a one-timing in the zone with the 1T and the tape-to-tape zones transfer from Colorado Avalanche. And then for the other hand, well, of course, from the Carolina Hurricanes, Miro Heiskanen wheels, Illy Edges, and send it pass. Makes it greater to have that speed. Jason Robertson, quick release in the pressure T and a no contest zone. Then starting goaltender is Jake Ottinger. Only the sponge makes absorption to a limited rebounds. White Johnston, the big tipper and no contest zone. Matt Duchene with the wheels and big tipper. Then it's along with Rupe Hintz, Illy Edges and tape-to-tape in the quick draw. Then it's Thomas Harley, the Illy Edges in the sended pass. Then it's Isa Lindell, stick him up in a quick pick. And then it's Tyler Seguin, quick release and 1T zone. And lastly, Jamie Benn, the captain for the Dallas Stars, makes an unstoppable and relentless skip. Therefore now, this is the first game that we start things here for the Stanley Cup playoffs. If you are ready for this one, then you know this is about that time to get things on the roll. As I start off with the first commentary of the crew, I will now set it off in Dallas. This time it will be test tube joining us along with the Ever Crews. And we've got a great matchup here along with Ringo White, and the third in the center box is Salvatore. We'll be seeing you all folks later here for the intermissions and post-game shows. Now let's see what takes on Minnesota Wilds and Dallas Stars. First game coming up on EA Sports. Let the games begin.
It's big night here in Dallas, Texas. Get ready for the postseason as we start the advantage. This is Stanley Cup playoffs of NHL 26. Get ready as the playoffs begins now. Hey everybody, I am Test Tube and I am here on my broadcast partner along with Ringo White and Salvatore, the center box for tonight's game. Tonight's starting goaltender is Philip Gustafsson for the Minnesota Wild and Jake Ottinger for the Dallas Stars. After a first remarkable saves by Philip Gustafsson, this will be the start between the Stars and the Wilds. Here's a fire shot pad saved in the toe blank by Philip Gustafsson. Here's Matt Zuccarello to start off for Minnesota Wilds. Minnesota Wilds with the first shot ability and a big save by Jake Ottinger. Sends it around the net. Here's Jason Robertson. Hartman takes it over. The rebound by Miro Heiskanen. Dallas will go over the way as he finds Mikko Rantanen. Looking for space for Robertson. Jason Robertson will reset. Find Mikko Rantanen. Shoots one and a save by Philip Gustafsson. Quinn Hughes looks to Kaprizov. Kaprizov right toward the range, finding it to Hartman. Hartman goes with a long pass. That brokens up for Minnesota. Rebound by Esa Lindell for Dallas. Along the board, finding the Heiskanen. Looks over to Root Pence. And Colin Blackwell will start up for the Stars. Here's the first chance for Colin Blackwell. Glove save by Gustafsson. 17:36 remaining in the first period as it starts here. Now, one thing about, as we noticed before, Matt Duchene plays so many postseasons on the blank. The one thing we really are looking at is how well he was able to have it charged up. The field hydration is where he's going to get it all to a great start. How does this really happen to you, there we go? Well, the start-off happens to go with only one blank shot of it, as for Matt Duchene playing since the Nashville Predators. But the last thing that he had been talking it through was the Dallas Stars. The big contract is making some great saves, but there's a lot of great, huge trying chances on the opportunities that changing it up forever and after. The one thing I know for Matt Duchene, he really starts it off to clean. And the great way to start this is he's really doing all the work. He pays to have a lot of respect for the team blanks. And one thing is for sure, Matt Duchene has a lot of fire on the ground. Playing at one of the most top players for the NHL in the postseason, and he's got a lot of blanking to do for. Let's see how he hangs on. And this is definitely what Matt Duchene is. He's up for perfect. Exactly right. I mean, anything that happens with Matt Duchene, that's where he gets to. Big blocker save by Jake Ottinger. Rebound by Blackwell, and he'll have it again in Root Pence. Pence on a rush. Shoots one. Doesn't get past by it, and a save by Philip Gustafsson. You know, that is a great chance for the Dallas Stars. They're starting to go the other way. But I mentioned to say this. They started to do all their take. No blank can do. And they've done that one all alone. Foligno's pass broken up, and Blackwell will send it over to Root Pence. Out along the boards, rebounded by Thomas Harley. Harley finds it over to Colin Blackwell. He looks to Heiskanen. He sends it deep, and it will go off into the net and out of play. Past 15 minutes mark in the first period. No scores given here for the first game for the first round. It's still zeros. After a win for Dallas Stars, here's Esa Lindell. Lindell moving it in, finding DeFosca. Right toward the middle in the blocking effort. And rebound by Tarasenko. Here's Minnesota. Another chance to Brock Faber. He'll start it off for the Minnesota Wilds to find Urov. Shots blocked right up again on Lindell. And Fosca with the rebound. Yakov Trenin trying to battle for it. Scooped it around to Oscar Bach. Brock Faber the other way. This one is kicked up, and the Stars will regain the groove. Quinn Hughes trying to settle it out. Stars regaining their groove lines. Minnesota takes the other way. Uron, sink lifted. What a great, huge defensive effort for the Stars. That was Meyer that made it stick lift. You know, that is a great start for the biggest of the stick up lift. And then when you're ever doing this before, you really had a lot of change up to have that respect. Meyer shot saved up by Phil Gustafson. Hughes finally turned safe though, and there was a little bit of a bounding block. And right turn near the Stars bench. And Matthew Shane back on ice. Rantanen shoots one, saved it up, and Brock Faber behind the net looks at Eriksson Ek. He'll give it over to Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes the pass to find the Huron. Huron chance, not a blocker, save made by Jake Ottinger. No contest zone, trying to hold Eriksson Ek. Myers looks over it again to Duchesne. He'll dump that out. Around the net it goes, and scooped it by Jared Spurgeon. Looks again to Brodin. Brodin pass to Eriksson Ek. Here's Boldy. He fires that and gets caught up by Matthew Shane. Glove save on the sponge by Ottinger. 11:15 to go in the first period. They'll have another puck drop ready. One thing that we need to say about Matthew Shane, he's really making the hit, and that goes right off of Quinn Hughes. That makes it slam down. I will now turn my attention over into the center box, Salvatore, and it all calls for once. And what we say is all for Root Hintz, the quick draw face-off. Thanks, guys. About Root Hintz, he chooses to do everything that he did. One thing we need to start now is for Root Hintz is to fire and to have that contest save. The great quick drawing on the puck zone makes it handled and easy and off. It's a great way to have that postseason. The blank is a great way to have one to start off its neck-to-neck runs. This face-off has a lot of percentage of it. And we're looking to see how Matthew Shane releases from Root Hintz and a big great draw and face-off, might do the thing. Let's see how he handles it with the face-off draw. Back to you guys. Thank you so much, Sal. After a save by Jake Ottinger, he looks to Bichelle, finding to Johnson. Here's Jason Robertson. He's right into the wing. That blank shot stops up by Philip Gustafson as we're nearing the midway mark in the first period. Now back the other way, I will send it over to Joel Eriksson Ek. Joel Eriksson Ek is to really start off with a no contest zone. The strike-off is definitely the period to have that one keeping it on. One thing for sure about Joel Eriksson Ek, he keeps it right into the range to have that crease crash and right toward the crease. This speed is regaining for Joel Eriksson Ek. Plays a lot of confidential speed, but the big thing is, he shows all what he can do for him. Let's find out about Joel Eriksson Ek and what his defenders. I'm looking to see his perfectionary to what his defensive effort playing against the Stars. The better change is more at risk. Back to you, Tetsu. Off the net, and it's rebounded up by the Stars. He scores! Colin Blackwell! Stars starts with a 1-0 lead. First goal in the playoffs. Looking back behind it, as we've seen it before. Watch for Colin Blackwell has it, and then there's a deflection that you give over to, and then goes right past Philip Gustafson. That pass on the outside of it, and then watch this goes in. That one then wristed it, and it goes up over the glove, and that one wristed to take care of the action. Watch for Root Hintz makes. His tape-to-tape zone really gets that one over it and under it. Pass from outside of it, and then when you get to the deflection by Colin Blackwell, that gives the wrister to give that first goal an opportunity chance. They're on strike in the fourth. So Stars starts with a 1-0 lead. Colin Blackwell, first goal in the playoffs of 11:08 remaining in the first. You know, I have to say about Colin Blackwell, the transfer from the other side of it and from the Chicago Blackhawks, he now has given it off to a great start. That's for a start off with Dallas Stars. They're really starting to get a lot of pickup plays. Root Hintz with the rebound, he finds it over to Kikowan. Stars back into Wild's territory. Playing to Blackwell. Big save by Philip Gustafson. Johnson looks to Eriksson Ek. And the Wilds will take a new change-off group. He shoots one. The firing wrist shot saved again by Ottinger. Here's Root Hintz to send off to Robertson. Dallas back into Minnesota territory. Rebounded up in the middle. Taken away by Brodin. And McCarron will have that one flinging around the net. Minnesota back into the Dallas territory. Miko on the current shot. And a big save by Ottinger is denied as it goes with under 7:10 remaining in the first period. Big confidence here afterwards from the Wilds and the Stars. How do you see that afterwards there?
Well, I may say that since 3 years ago they definitely did this.
And he scores! Marcus Foligno! And this one will give a tie range first goal in the playoffs.
So after the face-off of the win, so definitely started with the hold-up, but there's a great way that happens with only Brock Faber. Then this pass gives it to Marcus Foligno. This is where it goes right between the legs, and that first goal got a great start. Ottinger didn't see that, but that one with the first goal and opportunity, that Brock Faber was setting up a nice clean tape zones. Then it gets over, and now you give Foligno, and it goes right into the net. What a great start. And now they're all tied up.
Minnesota is on the board, 1-1 to score. And his first playoff goal, Marcus Foligno with 12:56 in the first.
You know, I better say about this, about Marcus Foligno. He's have making it start off and it really making a big chain. No better effort would do the catch. But the figure is, how happens with Minnesota Wilds, they've never gone back into the second round since after beating against the Stars so many often late. But I wasn't pretty sure how the Wilds are going to able to answer that. But the biggest part of the goals and concern, I was really sure enough that they were really pushing it off. I mean, that's a hard limit to have that strength. Now Minnesota Wilds, they're looking to get back in the second round, second consecutive of the postseason, to have it in between the years of the franchise history.
The Stars get back in the offense zone as Maverick Bork, the other way for the Stars. Able to send that one out, the pass to Duchesne. He shoots, glove saved by Gustafson. Under 6 minutes remaining in the first period, still a tie game. As it's scored by Marcus Foligno, it is a 1-1 game. A lot of energy to bring from the crowd here in Dallas, Texas, as we're still even up to silence the crowd. McCarron wins the draw. Quinn Hughes around the back behind the net to favor. Out looking for the loose puck in the net. Out of the blue line zone is Lindell. Lindell spins the other way, finds over to Johnston. Big hit on a smackdown by Quinn Hughes. Not a big hit, but just a little bit of a poke check. McCarron slings it all the way around. Now it's Dallas the other way for Lindell. Robertson starting to show off, and it's one rolls around the net. Brock Faber with the rebound, and Wilds, they have a change off possession. He finds McCarron. McCarron off the glass, tries to get away from the Dallas defenders. Big smackdown for the Wilds. Rebound by Lindell. Under 5 minutes in the first period, here's Jason Robertson. You find Nico Rantanen. Rantanen shoots one, and it's off the goaltender again by Phil Gustafson. Heiskanen along the boards. Rebound by Rantanen. Trying to look for help. Behind the net, Quinn Hughes. He finds over to Matthew Baldy. He finds off to McCarron.
6 seconds in the first period.
Here's McCarron. Toward the wall. Lundqvist takes over to Jamie Benn. Another big slam down with the hip. That's definitely another one down in the list. You know, that's definitely what causes it for Dallas Stars to try to regain the group in the line. But they're starting to go out of the way because Minnesota is definitely making that hit and change on a crucial. Another big save by Gustafson. As Michael McCarron, we see what goes in. But that's another monstrous hit. Yeah, you have to see this. Michael McCarron was really able to have that one smacking it down. From the Nashville Predators, he comes rushing to Johnston and makes that with a smackdown with the hit. That one is on the chain. A lot of chances to be here for Minnesota over Dallas with 16 over 8 hits. They're starting to look for some confidence to have the next goal in. That another pass saved again by Philip Gustafson. Full pressure coming on for the Wilds. Hartman will skate out. Kirill Kaprizov will send it out of here. On a rush, pass broken up, finding Bardeen. Trying to look for Matt Zuccarello, but Higuain will give it again to Colin Blackwell. Blackwell stuck up in the corner. You're off. Gets that out. Here's Myers. 2 minutes remaining in the first period as Blackwell's in zone. Another save by Gustafson will stop under 2 minutes in the first period. Don't forget, folks, we got our first intermission coming up for you as we'll have right along the group And joining us will be Roy Cruz along with me, Fun 11, and Boomer to share their thoughts on the story of Minnesota and Dallas on the start racing for the first game of the night. This might be what it takes, but let's hope there is a lead off to that chain off. And that first intermission is coming up after the first period. Bogushon shot off of Jamie Benz's blade. Back to Bork. Approaching final minute in the first period.
1 minute left.
Third quarter, Minnesota zone. Duchesne should save by Philip Gustafson. Rebound by Bork. In zone. Save by Gustafson. Covered up by Winklecock. Trennan, and he'll skid it out to Tarasenko. What a save happened to be Philip Gustafson. That big one tonight will be on for the lookout. Myers will have it. He finds over to Duchesne. Dallas beginning to rebound. Kicks off the puck. Finds Jamie Benn. And Duchesne will carry out of the blue line. And therefore we end the first period. Both teams are scored even. One for the Stars and one for the Wilds. Stay tuned for the second period as we'll be back with you shortly after the break.
Hey everyone, welcome to the first intermission of the NHL on EA Sports. After the first period, this starts off with the first game as between Minnesota and Dallas had taken a tying game effort. The strategy doesn't really pull it off, but it's a great way to have it. Now we'll send it over to Boomer and see what their status are. One thing we're really sure is to keep an eye on is some heavy attackers. They're really starting to give a lot of showing off some ability. 18/10, that was for Minnesota that they did. They've been knocking that one out, and they really wanted to have it all tied up. No confident feelings, not a big start off that they really wanted to do for, but that's really just another way to get that one slowing down into one piece. That definitely will have to get that squeezed in another action. The other thing we're looking at is some time on attack, 154/141. It's close range, but they're doing okay. Passing effectiveness is pretty close, 91/86. And face-off wins was 8/7. They really are ducking it out. They definitely really wanted to get a lot of face-off wins with some better pressure. As we have a look at the action trackers here, I will now send it over to MePhone11 about the Minnesota Wilds, and they are starting to pull it off that strong. For the tying effort, how do you see afterwards? Well, I may have to say that Marcus Foligno has his first goal in the playoffs. He started off pretty strongly, and after the pass from Brock Faber, he really has given a start off with the Stars on the goal, but they wanted to bring it back. They definitely really wanted to try to enforce their skills to have that one close range. No start off can do for Minnesota Wilds if they really wanted to do for. And this is definitely what they're going to try to keep an eye on, is some heavy attacking and some hits on defensive effort. And how about the Dallas Stars? What do you see afterwards from Colin Blackwell's first goal in the playoffs? Well, the strategy I love to see about this. Colin Blackwell is a great start off with the first period on the goal. This rebound was a start for Dallas Stars. They really got their start, a chance for the bing bang effort. But I'm really seeing how Colin Blackwell will do if he gets another goal in his playoffs. This might be some crazy moment. You may never know how this will change it up, but the only problem is now that he's got to try to figure it out to go with the pass or go for a shot. That's definitely one take to the other. And let's have your status here for what happens after the second period. Who do you think is going to lead it off? Well, my take is I'm going to say the Dallas Stars is going to definitely start off to keep things going. My answer is 3-1, and that might be a start off for Dallas Stars as they're getting off to a kicking start. They want to see some more action here, don't you think? Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think there may not be any played action, but it's only what it takes. You got to believe it or not. And how about you, MePhone11? What's your status? Close call afterwards. I'm saying 3-2 Minnesota because because this is definitely one of the close calls. I mean, under the bet, I want to see what the next goal takes for Minnesota, and I think 3-2 is a good number. All right, we'll see how this one changes up as we end the first intermission. Let's go back to Dallas for the start of the second period. We'll see you folks later for the second intermission after this. Now back to the game.
Welcome back, everybody, as we're going to get started for the second period. Both teams are even, but one will take the lead. And folks are ready for this one as we continue for the second period of the playoffs. All right, Ringo White, I know you were watching on this one, but how do you see that first period on the after ones?
Well, the start off happens to be a great starting for Jake Ottinger. His sponge off makes a ridiculous save over by Philip Gustafson. But the one thing has happened, but this one wasn't even enough to give that one a one single step. One thing is for sure, but we're really seeing this, is a good off to make that appearance to have it started off. I'm really sure what they're watching on this, but the only thing the entire the Dirty has given enough a lot of segment to have it some quick draws on the face-off. We're really seeing this to have it believe it.
So a lot of time left to be played in the period, though. Still a tie game. It's right in the range between Dallas or Minnesota. As here's Heiskanen after the winning draw. Snatch made by Gustafson. Gustafson's got a pretty good confidence speed on his own miraculous save. He really started out to get over by Ottinger.
I mean, I don't know if it's over by Ottinger, but that is a one hard question. I'm really starting to watch this, but only thing of the time will tell. Even if anybody does this, though, I mean, Phil Gustafson is watching it off. No confident, it's definitely going to have to change up with every goaltenders. And not even Wallstad either. That's definitely a big change of it for Minnesota as they're trying to have that one fly out.
As if the win goes to Hartman, here's Brock Faber. He will find Kirill Kaprizov. Kaprizov right around the wall and rebound by Heiskanen. Oh, almost we're going to be making a goal for the Wilds to have the lead, but it's denied effort. Goes back to Mikko Rantanen. Great save made by Phil Gustafson. Rantanen finds Lindell. Lindell up all along the wall. Battles for the rebound. Rantanen's shots blocked and rebounds by Quentin Hughes. Dodges it. Heiskanen goes right finding to Robertson. And here's Johnston. That one carries off. Here's Kirill Kaprizov. Kaprizov waiting it off from the corner of the wall. Robertson takes it over. Here come the heavy attacker, 3-on-1. Full strength in zone. Pass save by Phil Gustafson. Brock Faber to look to Kaprizov. He will find Tarasenko. On a shot glove save by Ottinger. He'll have that pressure in to hold things up, and we'll have another puck drop ready. Don't miss out, we got tonight, we have the Buffalo Sabres and the Boston Bruins clash down in Buffalo, New York, as this one will be the next game since we've seen them since Season 4 playing at Boston for Buffalo Sabres. But now the only change I'll have to do for is the rematch in Buffalo, New York. And then for later, we've got the Hurricanes and the Senators. That'll be a great night here for the USA versus the Canadian team. And lastly, for the West, it doesn't bring on to a stoppage. And we got a goal by Matthew Baldy. This one will get a lead. That'll be his first goal in the playoffs.
Oh, usually on a good start of it, and watch what happens when that changes off. This one gives it over to Matthew Baldy, and then when this deflects it off, that one is high at risk. This slap shot is going to definitely take it off, and then go bounce off the stick, and then gets a rebound by Matthew Baldy. That was crazy skill speed. Really picked it up, and then it just bounces off, and then it just goes back into the net. That's up behind the blocker, and it went right toward it to give the lead.
Matthew Baldy, the first goal in the playoffs with .355, assisted by Berdine and Eriksson Ek. They got their lead up for one.
Yeah, they got to watch yourself carefully because if they definitely don't want to make a mistake, because if they deflected it in, then Minnesota's going to definitely add on to a change.
Here's Harley to shot, big save by Phil Gustafson. Tarasenko looks to Urov. Urov past to Trennan, shot blocked again by Jamie Benn. Matthew Shane, the ever went forward, Thomas Harley. Dallas with the game in the backhand. That misses wide. Jake Middleton with the rebound. He stucks it up. And rebound by Bogosian. He's off to Tarasenko. Tarasenko rolling it in. Weaving from zone. Urov shot. Pat save by Ottinger. Here Heiskanen now finding Robertson. Robertson the pass. Now finding Ben. Ben knocks him down. Rebound by Middleton. Middleton battle along the boards. He'll have it again to Bogosian. Zuccarella out of the blue line. Jamie Benn will have a regrouping numbers. Big change for Gantz. He comes in. Saved by Phil Gustafson. Rebound up by Arlie. Now Johansson for the Minnesota Wilds. He'll have it over, finding again a Boguschon. Here's Boguschon. Pass to Zuccarello. Right toward middle. Back to Boguschon. Shots blocked. Rebound by Zuccarello. Big save by Ottinger. He gets another save by Ottinger. 13-12 remaining in the second period. As they'll have another puck drop. Good puck trending was really given to huge knockdowns. This opponent battle is definitely going to take right toward the wall. That sends it right toward the bench, and you would not believe that. That really makes it hurt into the visitor's bench. That can definitely be hurt and painful. Like we said it before, this one wasn't even easy enough for Phil Gustafson or Jake Ottinger. We have to see what's going on. We've got a games coming up here, like I said before. Buffalo Sabres and the Bruins. That's going to be later tonight. And following along the other way, we'll be on the other side of it, because the Eastern Conference gets the Hurricanes and the Sens for the next game. And later tonight, for the Western Conference, the Golden Knights battle against the Mammal of the Mammoth for the new rival game in the playoffs between Utah and Vegas. Don't miss out their next games here, only on Son of Peace in the future home. Coming soon is SOB's Gaming. Get ready for the next puck drop as both teams are ready to be scattered in the center glider. Now win by McCarron. Here's Brock Faber. He'll have it over. Send out pass broken by Robertson. 12 minutes gone by in the second period. Another save by Phil Gustafson. Back behind the net. Johnson. Battle along by Faber. Lindell. Get the pass to Robertson. Stay clipped by Quinn Hughes. Rebounds it. Now has it to Mira Iskinen. Johnson, now finding the Quinn Hughes. He'll look to Marcus Foligno. On the rush. Here comes Minnesota. That shoots wide and rebounded by Rantanen. He looks off to Robertson. Stars regaining groove. Here's another shot. Spurgeon takes it off. Rebound by Johnson. Shots blocked by George Spurgeon. Big pass save. Never stopped by Gustafson. Robertson finding a Lindell. Robertson backhand save by Gustafson. 10:31 to go in the second period. They're starting to look for a leadoff here to get it tied up. I mean, there's no question asked here. I don't even know how they definitely do this, but that Dallas Stars is going to allow a defender here to get that one knocked off a piece by piece. Lindell fires. Hit off his teammate. Now back to Jonas Verdeen. He looks again to Kaprizov. Kaprizov on the wheels. No open look would do. Ernie finding off. Spurgeon. Back to Lindell for the Stars. Dallas on the pressure. He's getting shot. Backhanders gloved up by Gustafson. Only 9:40 remaining in the second period. He'll get another puck drop ready. And we got to stick around for tomorrow night. We have a lot of things going on in between by the Oilers and the Anaheim Ducks. That's definitely going to be a next matchup here. That will be tomorrow night here at 9:30. That's right, 9:30 game is the Oilers against the Anaheim Ducks. And across for the afternoon game, we've got Flyers and Penguins. That will be the next part of the game. And then after that one, we go back to the Western Conference as the start-off goes right for the appearance of the Avalanche against the Los Angeles Kings. That next game is going to be underway on the other hand. Then later tonight for tomorrow at 7 p.m., the Lightning of the Bolts take on against the Canadian team against the Montreal Canadiens. We've seen these before since season 1, and that wasn't pretty interesting enough that they really had stemmed it out. This wasn't easy enough that they were really regaining a lot of speed, and it just happens to be a blowdown. Nothing since before here, Ringo. I mean, I don't know how they've definitely done this, but one thing is for sure, you gotta watch it clean. Yeah, I mean, watching it clean is really like a hard pickup. I mean, everybody who's watching this, no confident feelings. I mean, that really almost been severed out and out of the way. Here's Johnson, rushing speed to Rantanen. Another save again by Phil Gustafson. Rantanen finding Ari. Ari shoots one. Pat saved again by Gustafson. Uh-oh, there goes in the net. Wade Johnson will do a crash. will be a 2-2 tie game. I think something happened with this. I mean, let's look at it again by Wade Johnson and watch what this goes in. And that definitely took that spill, and then he's trying to get that back. But then the puck just goes in. It sinked it, and it goes right in toward the net. I really didn't expect it out. Van Gustafson wasn't even sure where the puck was going, but that rolled in. Wade Johnson will have the credit for the goal. Despite with a loud effort, Johnson, his first credit on his first playoff goal against the Minnesota Wilds. We're now tied again. Big save by Ottinger will stop and freeze the play with under 6:37. Now, I'm not sure if you're questioning this. Do you think it was off the blade or was it deflected because it went back in the net? I actually have no idea. I think that was off and deflected from the net. I mean, that is definitely kind of the hardest, and whatever expected what Wade Johnson did, I mean, that definitely goes unassisted. And one thing for sure is, because he was trying to get that playoff back and then trying to get the puck away from it around the net. And then what happened is that puck was blocked up and it just deflected right into the net. I wasn't pretty sure that was going to be confident enough to get a good goal. Another stop by Ottinger will stop and freeze the play with under 5:50 remaining in the second. What do you see afterwards, Salvatore, about the goal happened with Wade Johnson? Well, I was looking at it afterwards. I mean, I've seen that the goal must have been put in net, and what happens with the puck, it really daggers it, and it goes back right in toward the net on the goal line. And what happened with this is it flex off the defensive player, and then it just gives the credit for Wade Johnson. He wasn't pretty enough to get that one clear enough of. Not a single chance. Not enough to get that one a coaching challenge play, but that definitely made another good goal. And the referees were signaling it is a good goal, but the coaches weren't complaining about it. They were seemingly that there was going to be a no goal because that definitely gets right near the goal crease and they got to watch out on. So that definitely is going to be battled out for anybody. All right, thank you very much, Sir Sal. I mean, it was a close call afterwards. It wasn't pretty enough, but securely in, it's fastened up to tightness. Here's Zuccarello, the big save, puts it up by Jake Ottinger. Here comes Lindell, net down. Robertson with the rebound for the Stars. Under 5 minutes in the mid-period. Pass off, broken away by Quinn Hughes on Mikko Rantanen. Fires a shot, easy pad save, a quick reaction by Jake Ottinger. Puck rolls out of the zone and back into Minnesota territory. There's another chance to Spurgeon. He looks over to Hartman. He finds off to Matt Zuccarello. Matt Zuccarello pass, broken by Heiskanen. Reset by Robertson. Robertson, the pass is broken by Hartman. Hartman looks to Zuccarello, and you'll have that one rushing it in. Big send it on the hit near by the wall, and rebound by Zuccarello. Well, that's definitely going to be another big hello moment for Dallas Stars. They're really starting to get a lot of paybacks. Save made again by Jake Ottinger with under 2:50 remaining in second. Spurgeon in middle. Back to Spurgeon. Block the shot. Rebound by Foxka. Minnesota, as Spurgeon will have to pass to Boldy. Boldy in middle. Shoot save by Ottinger. Quick release. Back to Boldy. And it's rebounded up by Spurgeon. Boldy fires. Boldy in. Block save by Ottinger. Just under 2 minutes in the second period. What a great retirement reaction for Ottinger. Yeah, I gotta love to see this. Jake Ottinger, he snapped it with the pad and gloved it on the second. That really gives the backhander some hard chances for Matthew Boldy. He wants to give it up, but that sponge on this release, Jake Ottinger, he got a knockoff with the save. That one kicks it back out. With Jake Ottinger, he's making a great save afterwards. And we're nearing down the 1:30 and 90-second mark. It's tied up. Win by Eriksson Ek. That shot wide, rebound by Johansson. He finds Brodin. Brodin shoots wide and saved again by Ottinger. Nearing the 92nd in the second period, as they're really starting to get a lot of rehydration between the Minnesota Wilds and, of course, the Stars. Now the win. Here's Brodin. Brodin shoots one. Brodin with a chance. Backhander saved again by Ottinger. Thomas Harley will skate it out. That one knocks down, and it rolls right around the net to find Brodin. Brodin with the kick. Backhander stopped by Gustafson. Here in the final minute in the second period, still 2-2 game. 87 for Minnesota and 90% for Dallas. They're starting to get a lot of cleaning message in there to get a good start. Wait by Ruth Hintz. That's another block shot by Johansson. Right toward middle. Oscar back with the rebound. Here's Ernie. He saves it again by Gustafsson. Oscar back. Baska. Saved by Gustafsson. Brodin finding Matthew Boldy with under 20 seconds in the second period. Rushes. In zone. Harley. Right around the net. Oscar back. Pass out to Harley. And trying to get a quick shot for Faska. And out of time. That won't be doing it for the goal. This will end up the second period. Now we're heading to the second intermission. It's a tie game. Dallas and Minnesota. Stay tuned for the third period, as we'll be back with you shortly after this break. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs of NHL 26.
Hey everybody, welcome to the second intermission of the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs on EA Sports. This one wasn't pretty close afterwards, but they got it all tied up between Dallas and Minnesota. One thing is for sure is that we're keeping an eye look on Minnesota. That big off action here, that's knocking it down in. Let's have your stakes in for you, me from 11, of how that happened with the hit. Well, the biggest of the hit only happens to be Minnesota and Dallas. 42 has been smacking it down. Yakov, Trent, and Sensei Stars players into the visitors bench. That makes them a hard look. And I wasn't pretty seeing this. That really gives it another extension down. Minnesota is attacking it. A big range off is not pretty much anybody's favorite, but only one thing happens with Dallas Stars. They're trying to get a lot of clueless effortless. But that makes them knocking it off into a single digit. It was 424 with 354, 90 over 87. They're getting a little bit better at it, but they're starting to lose a lot of gaining momentum for the passing. And it's 17 over 16 face-off wins for Minnesota. They definitely are doing it a lot much harder than you think. Definitely 45 over 28. This shot on goal is going to definitely be tremendous. I'm pretty sure that this is definitely what they're all expecting to see. I think Dallas might pull it off with the big victim. And now let's see what happens with the action tracker of this range up is a quick off to make the release. As I'll now have it over to you, Roy Cruz, for Minnesota Wilds. Well, the start off happens to be only the pick by pick, quick by quick feat. Only thing happens with Matthew Boldy. He scores that goal, and that is his first goal in the playoffs. And that wasn't pretty easy enough that they really changed it off. Only time this will tell that Matthew Boldy has gotten a lead. And after the other way, it doesn't seem to stop on was Wade Johnston because he only has that credit with the goal. Matthew Boldy is trying to look for Minnesota to get their lead, but I think this upset might put the first game to have that loss. Let's see what happens if they take it. And go the other way for the Dallas Stars. What do you think of how they did for them? Well, they still officially count. I mean, that definitely gives a great save-off. Play-by-play, no quick motions. It happens to be Wade Johnson. A lucky credit on the goal. It doesn't seem to be like it was going to be off on a target angle. What I didn't see to look for is just how hard they were doing it for. And Wade Johnson, he got a big pick off of it to get a first goal afterwards. We're seeing what goes in next if they have to try to kick it up a notch. And let's see what your third period is for you guys. Let's see what happens with that. What's going over to you, me for 11? Your final statistics. It's going to be 5-3. I'm going to say that Minnesota might have to kick it up, and then they're going to start up with the first win. And over to you, Roy. What is your option? Dallas, for sure. Dallas is going to get a 4-2 over the Minnesota Wilds. They might have some answers in there, so that's going to definitely be my prediction. Okay, guys. Well, if the match is on, as we're heading into the third period, we'll see you back here for the post-game show after the game. So this is definitely going to be a big match-off. Let's see how it does so. Now back to Dallas for the third period start.
Third period about to begin as both teams come face to face in game one. It's been an exciting one, and you're just tuning us in for the start of the third period. We got both goals in actions between Minnesota and Dallas. All right, Ringo Way, this is the start off for you. Let's see what your thoughts are. Well, the start off only happens to be like this. And one thing for Minnesota, they've got it comfortable on the lead. But one thing happens with Dallas, they're starting to get a lot of pickoffs here. They're starting to get a lot of some big goals and change. No better energy would do for the crowd, but one thing is enough to keep that one out of the range is for Dallas to have some playing out a lot of time oftenly. Change is no better than different that they're doing it for. I'm really sure enough that Dallas is definitely going to have to do a lot of timing afterwards to keep that out. Hartman all alone, saved by Ottinger. Here's Heiskanen, he finds Robertson, and will skate out of the blue line. Here Heiskanen. Lindell shoots, a save made by Philip Gustafsson. Back to Mikko Rantanen. Here's Marcus Foligno, and he has it over to Tarasenko and off to Kaprizov. Minnesota on the range. Heiskanen back outside. Marcus Foligno will give that one away. Rushes it. Lindell with the steal. Out along the loose ball with the chain. And here's Tarasenko. Looks around, out to the outside. Faber, Hughes out in the range. Out along the loose puck in the corner. And Tarasenko right around the net. And here's Heiskanen. Deep the pass. Oh, missed that one. He'll be icing on Dallas Stars with 16:42 to go. That pass-off is not going to start oftenly. And that one really reaches out too soon. That's definitely going to be out of the way. What I love to see about Wade Johnson, the last part of the goal only kicks it in there, and then that one puts a save, and just enough that Wade Johnson was trying to get that a lot of goal in range, but only one cures because that only puts an error for Minnesota Wilds, and as for Stars trying to get a defender, and it just goes back in, and like, I'm going to definitely help. I mean, I don't even know how I was going to do that. So the big credit gets to Wade Johnson, and I wasn't pretty sure if that was going to be a goal or not. I don't know. But I have no confident feeling that that was going to be a great goal in it. After a tumble down by Matt Duchene, Dallas Stars will have to regain grip here. Around the net, and it's Ruth Pence with the rebound. Tenacious foul on the puck after Brodin, and Brodin will skate it out over again to Matthew Baldy. Matthew Baldy trying to reach his own. What a save by Ettinger! Well, the crowd was been striking down. I thought that one's going to go in. He stopped it. What a great save. You don't see that happens with that. Jake Ottinger, what a big stop. That sponges up, and he got a protection. You cannot let it get away with Jake Ottinger. That is one huge save. He's really trying to hold it, and that's a big stop down. You see what happens with this, and Estel Cancer trying to get that goal, and that one really kicks it out. Nope, I have no clue how that one was going to keep out for Jake Ottinger. What a big save. Crowd loving it so far for Jake Ottinger for the start of the postseason. And the winning faceoff will be Matt Duchene. He's off to Duchene. Johansson stops that one down. Here's Matthew Baldy. Should save by Ottinger. The Stars will regain some new line group change as Matt Duchene with wheels under pressure. Fast in motion. Back again in the no contest zone. Back over to Jared Spurgeon. Spurgeon. Baldy. Blocked the shot. Rebound by Harley. Jamie Benn. With under 15 minutes in the third period, he's trying to look for some numbers. Poked it away by a defender. And that was another huge save by Phil Gustafsson. Brodin. Long pass broken by Colin Blackwell. And the quick pick is now given away by Jared Spurgeon. Here's Urov for the Minnesota Wild. Lundqvist with the takeover for Dallas Stars. And back to Rupins. Skates in zone. Sticked them out of here by Jared Spurgeon. And he'll find Quentin Hughes to give to Trennan. Trennan right behind the back. Knocked him down. Tremacius on the battle on the chain. No penalty by Dallas Stars. Sent over again to Johansson. Lundqvist with a rebound, and he now finds Johnson. On the attack, Dallas Stars. Hintz, by Blackwell for two. Locked up, big save. That shuts down by Philip Gustafsson to deny the effort. Jared Spurgeon with the rebound. Send the deep pass again to Matsu Corella with 12:30 to go in the third. Here's Trennan, turning right into motion, and a save by Ottinger. A lot of big energy from the crowd, and he's still trying to look for the goal to take the lead. One of my best saves here has to be Philip Gustafson. The only thing that he's really incapable of is trying to have that pad and kicking it out. That's definitely one huge stop motion. No better effort what Philip Gustafson did. That really is a huge save on his own end. Never Pence coming down into the line against McCarron, and that's where Pence will win the draw. Bishop finds over to Colin Blackwell. Blackwell, and shot glove save by Gustafson. 12:04 remaining in the third period. They'll have that one carried it out, and they'll have another puck drop ready. One of my best part of the goaltenders has to be Jake Ottinger. He makes a great save of it on his energizing, and he tries to keep that one out in for protection. Yeah, I do gotta say that the believing of Jake Ottinger makes a one huge save, and one tremendous on a battle along the board really took it over. He had a lot of greatness on that huge save. He gotta kick that one out for real. Jake Ottinger is starting to look for his first win against the Minnesota Wilds in the first round. And another win will be on Rupins. Oh, try to deflect it for Rupins, but that one just carried it out. And a save by Gustafson. Since the last goal in the first period, we've seen Colin Blackwell, and then the next part of the goal gives the credit to Wyatt Johnston with a better effort. But the leadoff needs to find for Dallas or Minnesota. Middleton goes slam down. He finds Marcus Foligno. The deep pass now finds it to Foligno. Big hit down. Maverick Bork will find it over to Matt Duchene with 11 minutes remaining in the third period. Jamie Benn rolling in. Saved by Gustafson. Kirill Kaprizov will have it all around across the board. Bichelle shoots blocked up, and Kaprizov will have it taken away. Wiles back in offense. Tarasenko should save by Ottinger. Kaprizov, Tarasenko in toward middle, and back to Myers. He'll find it to Jamie Benn. Lifts it up in the air and right around the net. Jonas Brodin gets carried over back to Brock Faber. He finds Tarasenko and looks at Brodin. The center deep pass to Eriksson Ek. Eriksson Ek in zone. Another save by Ottinger. And we'll pass the midway mark in the third period. Big plenty of face-off here. It was 21/18 for Dallas Stars. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a crucial. Beyond the fact of it, I was really certain that Dallas Stars is giving a lot of regaining group. A lot of energy is bringing up to the crowd. That's what the chances are to have that huge save in place. No change effort would do. Lindell shoots, saved by Gustafson. Can't get the rebound back out. Quinn Hughes in trouble, finding Zuccarello. And back over to Issa Lindell for the Stars. Stars in change. Full strength, Hartman. Hartman skates out. Hartman rolls to Zuccarello. He shoots another save by Ottinger. Lindell, big hit down and no penalty on Minnesota. And there will be a fighting initiative. They're going to be both teams in the bench. Well, I bet that they're watching on this. They got to see what's going on. They got to smack him down because one man goes down, the other's going to attack. Takes a whack. Hartman knocks him down where Johnston...
Minnesota number 38, 5 minutes for fighting.
Well, I don't even believe how they were doing
53,
that.
5 minutes for fighting.
Would have to cause respectively. Wade Johnson was even waiting impatiently, and then that one gives an initiative on the fight chain, and now it's Hartman. He goes after it. He said, really? That's what you're going to make me do? That one really hurts very badly. So as the hurt puts by, that will have to cause him in the medical room. That's an answer. Faber. Back to Rupins. He now finds the kick go on. He'll set it out around the net. Quinn Hughes will take it. Here's Eriksson Ek. The rebound by the Lions. Kicks over to Quinn Hughes with under 7:30 remain in the third.
47 seconds in the third period.
Matthew Baldy. Rushing towards it, right in the center box. He shoots one to save by Ottinger. And back to Kaprizov. Took a knockdown here. Lundqvist with a hit. And sent all the way down. This will be an icing on Dallas Stars. Under 7 minutes in the third period, they're starting to look clean here. They're starting to look for some answers off in the third period to have it with a great leadoff change. The win by Erickson Egg. Faber shots blocked. Rebound by Baldy. Baldy finds Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes shoots one and it blocks off by hits a stick. And back to Colin Blackwell. That blocking is a big of a save, and then that one really kicks it off. That really doesn't change it off. It ultimately happen to anybody. But that really will make them hurt and make them pay for it along the way. Don't make them question afterwards, because if they don't do this, that gets it a too much defensive traffic leader. Minnesota rolling it off. Kaprizov. Cut motion in front. Misses wide. Great defensive effort by the Stars. Quinn Hughes along the wall. Rebound by Fosca. Harley will send it over again to Duchesne. Mikko Rantanen. Swing and a miss as it's caught off by a stick by Quinn Hughes. Block a shot. Rebounds it up. Johnson will take it to Kaprizov. Under final 5 minutes, presented by Discover. And here's Kaprizov to Johansson. Blocker saved again. Kaprizov rolls it over to Rama the other way. That blocks it up in defensive traffic. Matt Duchesne trying to look for it. And Eininger will take a cover here with under 4:30 remaining in the third. I've seen the problem afterwards with Brock Faber. He had that one blocking it up and then firing a slap shot, and that's when it hits it underneath the shin pad. That definitely will have to cost it if you pulled out. Brock Faber is finished in the regulation periods, as now replacement will be the Dallas Stars for Minnesota, as now we'll have to wait and find out what game 2 will be next. Jamie Benn, unstoppable on the forwards. Bork shoots, glove save by Gustafsson. Under 4:05 remaining in the third period, Minnesota and Dallas are starting to look strong and confident. 5:55 over 5:31 the other way. And they're looking for a good goal here between Dallas or Minnesota. Here's Myers. Save again by Gustafsson. Bishop shoots. Another save by Gustafsson. Under 4 minutes in the third period. They'll have another puck drop ready to get back in their work. But we'll see what changes. 89 over 88% is their passive effectiveness. Fosca and Yurov ready for the puck drop on the battle. And a win by Yurov. Spurgeon now finds the Brodin and looks over to Trennan. Trennan racing after it. The backhand pass. Yurov shot blocker saved by Ottinger. Rebound by Tarasenko. Trennan in motion. Waiting around too much. And that's back to Ernie. Tarasenko sticks it up and now finds to Yakov Trennan. Trennan, pass to Yurov. Yurov shoots, save again by Ottinger. Myers, battle along the boards. Minnesota trying to look for help. And here's Bishop. Bishop to find the Myers. Dallas back into Minnesota territory as Myers. And stick lifted, that goes to Jonas Brodin. Here's another rush. Trennan. Nowhere to be room here, and it now finds Bishop. Bishop picks up the puck around the net, and rebound by Oscar Bach. Oscar Bach sends the other way. Quinn Hughes back in the lineup group. Under 2 minutes in the third period. Here's Bishop. Pass to Fosca. Fosca in zone to Fosca. Trying to look for answers to find it out. Big save by Gustafsson. Matthew Baldy rolling the pass over to Spurgeon. Spurgeon rolls in, saved by Eininger with only 1:07 remaining in the third. No Chain Energy crowd as will now send it over to Sal, who had the best play of the night.
Well, thank you guys. Really seeing how that happened with only Jake Ottinger. He makes a wonderful save to have that one pressure it off. The only stop P is a better way to have it. And now as you're down to the final minute, they got to watch for trouble. And Jake Ottinger's really trying to see things out. We got to look and see what's going to happen. If anything goes in or out. That's definitely the question. What will be? Let's see how he hangs on.
Thanks, Sal. Now we find it again at Jake Middleton. He takes a wipe down and rebound by Heiskanen. 30 seconds remaining in the third. Broken it up. Kaprizov finds Matthew Baldy. He's really starting to get that one not much clean afterwards, but the startup doesn't really mean it. They don't really have to start it off impatiently. That definitely gives it out. And he scores! Kirill Kaprizov! Buzz Beater with 19:42 left. First goal in the playoffs, they take the lead. Well, nothing happens with this. And Kirill Kaprizov, he knocks that one down. Now the Minnesota Wilds are going about crazy for tonight. And watch when this quick release happens. Kirill Kaprizov, he dishes it off in, and it just passed by Jake Eininger. He found an answer to get that first playoff goal right into the net. That doesn't stand a chance with Kirill Kaprizov. He gets it right toward the net. Well, it's down right now for under 20 seconds, and Dallas has some time if they wanted to go with some full-man attacker on. Matt Duchene finding Arlie. In trouble zone. Ottinger to the bench. Ben knocks him down. Final seconds is saved by Gustafson. Under 10 seconds in the third. Dallas Stars looking for some answers and to have a comeback. Not a time to be patient here. Matt Duchene wants to win a draw.
In the third period, 19 minutes, 42 seconds in the playoffs.
Eriksson takes it over. Spurgeon clears it to Eriksson. And will stitch it over, and Boldy shoots, and he scores. This will start off for Minnesota. They get a 4-2 win, and that'll be second in the playoffs. Sparrow doesn't keep on coming after Eriksson Ek, and then pass gives it off, and watch this play goes. Get past the Boldy, and then gets it right into the net. That's the first to have the goal. Fans really made that one, shutting down to a surprise here in the first game. As now, Minnesota takes over to control game one, and a big win by Philip Gustafson. Well, Gustafson really had that one with a strong, huge start. That doesn't really mean that they really have to keep on playing afterwards, but one thing is for sure, Gustafson got a great save over by Ottinger.
We appreciate your
So that's going to wrap it up for tonight, and with a big start off for a great save by Eininger, but the setback in was Kirill Kaprizov. He found the answer. Well, that's it for now. As along my broadcast partner, along with Salvatore, and my side commentary broadcast partner, with Bingo White, and Test Tube. Thank you for watching the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. We'll see you next time. Good night.
Alright, thank you there, Test Tube. Time for 3-star players. Wade Johnson with the first goal and 4 hits. Only made that one to do so with the usual credit. After that one, big change off with the hit. The second star player of the game goes to Matthew Baldy. He has 2 goals in this game and has 2 goals in the playoffs. Only does it for one so, and pass that one deep. He fires that one to have it deflected in the first period and bounces and goes right back in the net. And tonight's first star player of the game goes to Philip Gustafson. 56 saves in a row, beats by Ottinger with the final score of 4-2. Minnesota takes the lead series 1-0. Well, that starts off really way on fast. Big control of it doesn't really mean much. And that was pretty close of it, but I gotta say, Roy, it was, you got the right prediction, but the prediction of it was wrong, so Minnesota has taken it over it. Yeah, it's not mean for anybody, but that really makes an odd bet to show what first game starts off. But it's anybody's game to have that pick-up release. Here are the final statistics. 58/46 total shots on goal for Dallas. 47/46 for Dallas on the hits. And it was 614/608 on a time on attack for Dallas. But 89/88% passing effectiveness for Dallas Stars. And it was 26/23 face-off wins for Dallas. And 5-minute penalty kill was both teams. So therefore, that ends off with the first game. If you're ready for the second game, next game coming up for you is the one big off on its own. Hurricanes and Sens. That'll be the next game underway soon when we take a quick break. And later tonight will be the Sabres against the Boston Bruins in Buffalo, New York, before the last game of the first night, as we are about to see what goes with the witness. We'll see you all folks later for the next game. And if those of you are not tuning us in, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time for as well as the Stanley Cup Playoff NHL 26 gameplay dial. This is Roy Cruz, MePhone11, and Boomer here. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.
If you don't somebody will.